I'm back. Rudrance for Black and White Network. We're going to talk about Chicago's weekend of shootings. This is sort of a reoccurring episode on this channel. Make sure you hit subscribe. I hope everybody had a merry and safe Christmas. And, of course, we're cruising towards a new year. Unfortunately, in Chicago, death does not take a holiday. It was another bloody weekend in Chicago. And we'll touch on that in this video. And one of the things I wanted to touch on as well was Lightfoot. Mayor Lightfoot, she, of course, is a total and complete dumpster fire failure up there. And she's coming up for re-election. Now, unfortunately, the only people really and truly running against her is people of the same ilk, Democrats. Okay, so I don't think anything's going to change. She's going to get reelected, and it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be the continuation of bloodbaths in Chicago. She won't care. Democrat voters won't care because, I feel like, I don't know what the deal is, but they can't see the forest for the trees. All right, they're looking at urban warfare, and they're blaming it on the guns instead of blaming it on the criminals. And the fact that the police need help and they need to crack down on the actual criminals themselves. And I think they need to be more aggressive, plain and simple. I truly do. I think there ought to be things like task force and, it's war on those urban streets. So, in my opinion, send the police into those areas, flood those areas with cops, and crack some heads. I mean, plain and simple, And I've said that she should be in a war zone every weekend because every weekend it is a war zone. But they'll reelect her because she checks all the right boxes. She's female, she's black, and she's lesbian. My God, she's Brittany Griner. It is what it is. The exact same boxes that Brittany Griner checked, Lori Lightfoot checked, and she will get reelected over just that sort of thing. Well, she's made some comments, and they're downright comical. But let's just get to a quick recap of what happened over the holiday weekend. Chicago weekend, 2 killed, 13 wounded. Christmas weekend, at least 2 people are dead, 13 others wounded in shootings across Chicago over the Christmas weekend. Ages of victims were 17 to 55. My God. Absolutely crazy. A 55-year-old man was struck in the hand by gunfire Saturday evening. Police said the victim was near the street around 5:48. I guess you're not allowed to stand out by the street without getting shot. And let's see what else we had. An officer opened fire at 3 suspects after witnessing a shooting in Inglewood. My God. A 54-year-old man, 17-year-old boy were struck by gunfire. And it talks about a lot of these people, of course, ending up at University of Chicago and places like that at those hospitals. And it's just more of the same, more of what we see every week. 32-year-old, 29-year-old, 30-year-old. Absolutely. Officers conducted a well-being check on found a man dead of a gunshot wound to the head. I mean, my God. 21-year-old man, 32-year-old, 23, 30, 22. So, it's just people of all ages. Nobody's safe. And then you get these kind of idiot comments like we're getting from, this is WGM and this is Lightfoot. And they start talking to her about major businesses leaving. In a year that has seen major businesses like Boeing and Citadel move their headquarters out of the city, Lightfoot also pointed out that the economic wins, like approval for the casino and red line extension for the far south side, both projects have eluded mayors for decades. She went on WGM to try to brag on herself for the upcoming mayor candidacy that she's taking part in for that race right now. She has been criticized for being adversarial or combative. No shit, that's accurate. WGN asked what she thinks when she hears the constant criticism. This is where things get laughable. Once again, it's not about track record. Once again, it's not about the fact that it doesn't seem like she's qualified or that she's not getting the job done. She's going to blame race. That's right, race and being a woman. I mean, the lowest possible hanging fruit that anybody could use, but this is out of standard operating procedure for a Democrat, especially somebody of color. I'm just keeping it real here. If they're a Democrat and somebody of color, they're probably going to blame that on the criticism they're receiving, not the actual valid issues that are plaguing this city. Quote, well, they are tropes. Here we go. And I think every woman and every person of color knows exactly what that means and what it comes from. And the next piece of that is because of that, she can't collaborate and get things done, Lightfoot said. All you got to do is look at the body of record. Never lost a fight in city council. Closed record deficits 2 years in a row. You can't do that unless you know how to navigate the rocky shoals of politics in this city. I mean, you know, does it surprise us that somebody like Lori Lightfoot, when she receives criticism, would now go out there and blame the fact that she's getting criticized to begin with on the fact that she's a woman and she's black? I'm surprised she didn't throw in the fact that I'm also a lesbian, because she checks all three of those boxes. It's got nothing to do with her actual lack of ability, making terrible decisions like encrypting the police scanners where the public and the media can't keep track of what's going on in real time. That's going to put people's lives in danger. And the fact that she won't truly... look, she made the decision to defund the police in a city that is known for violent crime already. She's the one that decided to do that. She tried to walk it back. It doesn't matter. It's on you. You own it. You did it to begin with. And you put your police at an incredible disadvantage. You've got a prosecutor up there, much like in New York with Alvin Bragg. You've got Kim Foxx. They don't want to prosecute criminals, and you are in part responsible for that. Okay? Businesses moving out of the area, and also under your leadership, Lori Lightfoot. So, and you care about making TikTok videos and doing karaoke commercials and showing up to Gay Fest so you can take shots at Clarence Thomas. You clearly just have your head up your ass. I don't think that has anything to do with color or gender or sexual preference. If you're shitty at your job, you're just shitty at your job. All right? So it is what it is. You're not above criticism. And no, you can't blame everything on the fact that you're a woman and that you're somebody of color. I mean, there's plenty of capable women and people of color out there to do a job. That's also got nothing to do with selecting somebody to do a job. It should be the most qualified person, regardless of gender and or color, period. Right? Tell me what you think, Black and White Network supporters. Christmas does not allow Chicago to dodge death. Of course it doesn't. Criminals aren't going to respect any holidays, and they're certainly not going to respect the leadership of Lori Lightfoot. I mean, who would? I don't. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.